Hello and welcome. I hope you enjoyed that mini intro to the video, and welcome today to our new channel, Formula 1 Fans United. Firstly, I'm going to request kindly, if you're new to the channel, then please do subscribe. If you enjoy this video, at the end of it, then make sure you do please hit the like button. And thirdly, as a sort of additional request, if you're into Formula 1, you want to come join a Formula 1 group on Facebook, then come join us. We're F1 Fans United 2021, hashtag We Race as One. And yeah, come join us over on Facebook, come join the group, and hopefully you will enjoy that group. Now let's get into today's video. And today's video is about Mercedes. Not Mercedes in 2021, but Mercedes in 2022. Now Mercedes, the 7-time Formula 1 world champions. For the last 7 years, Mercedes have been ripping it up with Lewis Hamilton and obviously Valtteri Bottas. Particularly Lewis, though, has been the king of the crown. Obviously, he's been the number one bulldog, shall we say, in the team. He's the one that has led the face of Mercedes right the way back from 2014 all the way up to now in 2020. But Bottas has also been a central part of this team. He's spent the last 4 years now at Mercedes. He's had 2 good seasons where he's finished runner-up in the championship. But today we're going to look at what are the options for Mercedes going forward. Starting off with Valtteri Bottas. Now, I think retaining Valtteri Bottas would be a brilliant option for Mercedes in 2022. Because ultimately, Valtteri Bottas is a very consistent, he's quick, he's probably one of the best number 2 drivers a team could have in any car. I know it's a bit harsh, me calling him a number 2 driver. Obviously, he probably doesn't feel like that. However, from the results, okay, he's a very consistent driver. He's certainly not going to upset his teammates. And I really think Valtteri Bottas would be a very, very good option for Mercedes to retain going forward. And looking at his age, he's only 30 years old. He's still got plenty of time in Formula 1. And as I say, he's a very, very quick driver indeed. He isn't shabby. He knows how to set the car up most weekends. He's familiar now in the team. He's certainly no longer the new kid on the block. And yes, he's relatively new to it all, and he does have the occasional mistakes, as we saw in 2020 and 2019, and 2018, of course. But I do believe, as time will go on, he will just get better and better as a number 2 driver, if that makes sense. And you know what? Maybe one day he can challenge for the title. But as I said, he won't upset his teammates. He'll work with whoever is alongside him. Moving on to George Russell then. And I think this is probably the one we all know. He's going to get the seat in 2022. That is a given. Given the fact he was already in the seat for the Sakir Grand Prix in replacement of Lewis Hamilton when he had COVID, I just think it's a given he will be given that drive in 2022, for 2022. So I just don't see a way, okay, you can't put George Russell in the next Mercedes driver lineup. George will be there, but who else? That's the $1 million question we've all been asking. Who will partner George in 2022? You've obviously got your Leclercs, your Verstappens, and I think these are realistic options, actually, your Leclercs and Verstappen. Looking at what Leclerc and Verstappen have done over the last few years has been remarkable. Basically, now owning their own teams in Formula 1, you can say. But I think there's also another candidate we should also consider here, and that's Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian, he knows his way around the paddock. He's sort of embedded now into that Mercedes, team, you could argue, as well, due to the fact he'll be driving Aston Martin next year. So he will have good links, and he has a good relationship with Toto Wolff. But is this the end of the road for Lewis Hamilton? Now, I think it probably is the end of the road for Lewis, Sir Lewis, I shall now say, because at the end of the day, Sir Lewis has been there, he's done it all, he's achieved everything he possibly can. Just ask yourself this question. If you were a 7-time world champion, you've matched the greatest driver of probably F1's history. What more is there left for you to achieve? He's put the Hamilton's name in Formula One's record books for eternal glory, literally. He will go down as one of the best drivers ever to live and breathe inside the Formula One paddock. And I think Lewis is one of these characters. He's got so much going on for him outside of motorsport. He loves his music. We saw him release an album last year. He loves his fashion. And I think Lewis has a lot more than other drivers going on outside the sport. So for Lewis, I think it would be a lot easier to walk away from F1 than maybe other Formula 1 drivers, possibly. But in addition to this as well, I think, with Lewis, I think he is one of also these characters where I think he'll decide to go out when he's on top, go out knowing that he's basically, the number one top dog, undisputed. No one can say he's not. And I think that's when Lewis will retire. And I think that will be done this year. I think he will win his probably 8th title. It's more than likely. And I think due to the money cap costs that are coming into effect next year, I think this is part of the reason why he will quit Formula One at the end of 2021. And now it's time to answer the question we've all been waiting for. Who will be the lineup at Mercedes in 2022? And I think it's a given that George Russell will be. This is more like a fact. You might as well call it a deal that's already done. There's probably somewhere pen put to paper already with his name, his signature, already on the deal. Really there's probably nothing left for that deal to do. Because we know at the Sakir Grand Prix, he was already given that opportunity and he shined in the chance. With Bottas, I think he'll be his number 2. I think Bottas will be retained because when Mercedes do a driver change, I've noticed they never really go too big. They always sort of try and keep it a bit mediocre. I don't really see them doing anything different other than that now. I think Mercedes will retain at least Bottas to keep a bit of familiarity in the team and to not alienate, obviously, its mechanics and stuff. So yeah, I think he'll be George Russell and Valtteri Bottas for 2022. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share this video if you're new. Remember, go check the links down below if you want to come join the Formula One fan group to have more debates and discussions just like this one. Until next time, have a great day.